And just like that, that's the last run. I've got just repaired 6920, and I just ordered parts for 911, because as you can see, this screw is missing. It's supposed to look like this here. It's a screw and a washer down into the frame, and it's obviously missing there. So I ordered parts. It looks like Lionel comped it because they didn't ask me for a credit card, but really appreciate the good service over at Lionel. I got some information on sending what do you call it, 2010 in for service. Can't send it to Lionel, but I'm gonna end up finding hopefully a really good service center. So if anybody has any preferred service centers, leave them in the comments, because that thing needs some help. But yeah, so here's what the inside of a SD60E looks like. Yeah, so 6920 was missing this screw here, up here, and it was actually still floating around in the engine, and the washer was just on the track down there, actually right, that track right over there. And so I cleaned it all up and put her in, and it runs fine now. So I'm glad. Now I just need to get everything back rolling here again. But if we put this up right here, you can see there's a smokestack, there's all the cab lights and everything, there's the audio panel and everything, and then that little plate back there, the little silver plate that's kind of reflective, you can't really see it, but that is actually your legacy antenna. So yeah, so now I'm just gonna put the screw back in, and magically when I put the screw back in that one, it connected to it realized that there was legacy instantly. So I'm curious if all my engines have a grounding issue to the frame to see that there's legacy. I'm gonna have to open them all up, open up the ones that have problems in the fall when I put all these back out. Because I do plan on having another layout in the fall here, but it's not going to be, it's probably going to be just this layout like I did this year, because we'll see how much time I have, because last year I did not have a lot of time, because it was finals week. It was coming up on finals, and now that I'm instructing, and finals are going to be even more of a stress, because this is the fall will be my last semester, I hope. It better be my last semester. So, yeah. I'll get this packed up and I'll give you guys another update. Alright, so here's the screws for 911. So these went up here, those went there, and then we had these two real small ones. I didn't even see them. I almost ripped this poor shell off the engine because I couldn't get it off because of those screws. And then you got two for the back here. So a total of 8 screws. Now, if I remember correctly, most of the plastic diesels I have only are held in by 6. That's why I was a little confused. But 8 screws, and I'm leaving them organized because Lionel says it takes about 2 weeks to ship parts. And so I'm just like, so I'm going to organize it. I'm going to leave it out. But I will get the other 2 packed up and all this track packed up here. I'll leave it on like one piece of, I don't know, fast track or something. So that way I can, it's not laying on the carpet or anything. Because I know that the parents wouldn't be too pleased. So, yeah. Alright, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to pack up an engine. So, first off, you open the box up. There's a little tab on the bottom. And we're going to pull out the styrofoam here. Maybe. Okay. It takes 2 hands. There's the styrofoam. Lay that off to the side. We're going to pull all of this packing stuff out. Just going to set it aside. And we're going to start with, I'll close that. We'll watch some Cletus McFarland. Put the straps here. These straps are there to help pull the engine out. So don't use the plastic when you're pulling it out. You could just dump the engine out, like take the box and dump it into your hand. I mean, that sometimes works as well. But this is kind of the safer method. So I'm going to go ahead and pull 6920 over here. And I'm just going to set it on the plastic here. Lay out the plastic. All right, so it's on the plastic now. We're just gonna start putting the foam in for the handrails to support it in the box. So this appears to be the front because it's got the ditch light cutouts. Here's the rear. And then this is going to be for where the brake wheel is. So it's going to go right there. And then here, you get the step down for the step down there. And then one long piece for the other side, because this side's pretty simple, but that goes where the stairs are. So you'll line that up down there and then push her all in. And then these go in between the frame and the truck, like so. So they're both in there now, and we're gonna wrap it up. We got it wrapped up. Now we're gonna put it in the box gently. That there is for the front end, but we have to be careful because if you aren't, these sand caps will rip off on these SD60s. So you wrap it up tight, and let's throw it. All right, I'm gonna try this, see how it goes. So we're gonna tighten up the plastic. You want as little slack as possible, so that way, and as you notice, I put the side facing the styrofoam on the bottom, so that way it doesn't creep out on us. It doesn't go out on the engine. So now, as you can see, I'm nice and gently putting it in, taking my time, because the last thing I want to do is break this thing. And so I don't really like how it's going in, so here's that pulling it out with one hand, and we're going to reset and do it again. And you just kind of do that until you're comfortable and you're not forcing the engine in, you're not just dropping the engine into the box, it's just very gentle. Because, I mean, the SD60s aren't the most detailed things in the world, but I had an incident with one of the ES44s, one of the out-of-interstate ones before, because I wasn't gentle enough, and next thing I know, half the details are broken off on one side. Okay, make sure those straps stay out. There we go. Just like that, kind of pops in. Make sure the plastic covers everything, because the plastic is protecting the engine from the styrofoam. So make sure everything's punched in there. Put the lid on. It should be just like that, so it's in there perfectly. Now we'll slide her back into the cardboard box. All right. So right now, we'll slide her back in. Oh, make sure you get both folds out side. You have to pick the box up to make sure you don't push the tab on the bottom in. Slide it in. Pick it up. And as you can see, push it down, close it up. We're gonna put it in the bag and then put it in the box. All right, so we've got the bag in, or we've got the bag started. That's what I need to do off camera. Get my knee out of the way there. Oh. Put the box bag side up, slide the bag down. Voila. Now I'm gonna have to take away my stand and put it in the shipping box. So same thing, just slide her on in. And the bag is protection for the inner box from the shipping box, which the reason why I keep the shipping box is to protect the inner boxes. Because those inner boxes actually add like $100 of value to the engine if they're in good condition. Because it kind of indicates how you treated the engine as when you're running it. If you treat the box well, then the engine's probably going to be pretty good quality. Whereas if the box is beaten, battered, and torn apart, it might not be as high quality of an engine. So yeah, put this away, and then we'll put away 3751. All right, guys. So it's all packed up. About to vacuum here, but you can see where I've had the Lincoln logs for the bridge, and there's 911. That's where it's going to sit, and all the bags with the screws in it for the until I get that part in. But yeah, and this will all get vacuumed up. And after 2 or 3 passes of vacuum, you'll never know what was here. But yeah, you can see the wire that I ran for the, what do you call it? The extra track, or for the secondary power source. So that one ended there. This one was right around here-ish, I believe. Because you can see where it's all bunched up under the track there. So yeah, and then there's the yard. You could tell that I didn't really keep much of anything in the yard other than engines being stored, and then a couple cars here and there. But I mean, the yard is gonna come out before the main line does, because I had a lot of stuff on the main line. So yeah, let me get all my college stuff all scattered around down here. This side is my side, and then the other side of the basement is my sister's. So, all right, I'll give you guys an update once I vacuum.